Hello everybody, welcome back to our SSCMA classes. So we are going to resume our last lecture of meeting of board and PAR. Okay, so we are going for section 186, loan and investment by the company. In this we are going to read that the loan, earlier we read that in some cases directly or indirectly the loan is not taken by directors and other person of who are related to directors in the company, but there was some specified circumstances where the loan guarantee securities were given to the directors, employee and every other person, etc, etc. Okay, and there was some prohibition and all. Okay, right now we are going to read that the loan is given to, loan and investment by the company is given to whom, okay, which the director or which institution or whatever. Okay, and what are the, if is there any limit, I mean, in this section, or if the limit exceeds, what are the other thing which the company have to do? I mean, the company have to go for special resolution or for ordinary resolution, and for this purpose the company have to take any other institutional approval and all, and disclosure and everything. Okay, so we are going to start section 186, which is loan and investment by the company. Okay, section 186 is for loan and investment by the company. Okay, so let's read out. Section 186 regulate the following transaction, which says where a company make directly or indirectly any loan to any body corporate, to whom body corporate, or to any other person. Okay, loan to body corporate or to any other person. Second, where the company gives directly, indirectly, any guarantee, same things, right? Any guarantee in connection with loan, in connection with what? In connection with first point, which is loan. Okay, made to any body corporate or to any other person. Loan to body corporate or to any other person who is related to company, right? Body corporate. Okay. Second, the guarantee, again, which is connected with the loan. Okay, and to body corporate or any other person. Okay. Third point is about the, again, when a company gives directly or indirectly any securities which is connected with loan, okay, made to any body corporate or to any other person. Again, same thing, loan, guarantee, security to body corporate or any other person, whether directly or indirectly. Okay. And there is one more point in this section, which is where a company gives directly or indirectly acquired by way of subscription, purchase or otherwise of any other body corporate. Okay. So there was one more point of subscription. Okay. So let's read out what is this section saying. If any of the loan, any of the guarantee, any of the security, any of the subscription, either directly or indirectly, is given to whom? Body corporate or any other person. Okay, the company can give loan and investment to body corporate or to any other person, but there is some limit. What I said, there is some limit. Okay, let's read out the limit for making loan, investment, guarantee or security and approval of member by special resolution higher of the following. Let's leave this part now, I'll explain it. Okay, so what is the limit of making loan and investment? Okay, there is a limit which says, first says about the 60% of aggregate of paid up share capital. Paid up share capital include equity shares and preference share. Okay, 60% of aggregate of paid up share capital, security, free reserve and security premium account, which says the aggregate of security, paid up share capital, security, free reserve, security premium. Okay, of 60%. We are going to take the aggregate of these three into 60%. We are going to take the 60% of aggregate of these 3 points. Okay, or 100% of free reserve and security premium account, whichever is higher. Okay, so the loan limit is up to 60% of aggregate of paid up share capital, free reserve, security premium account. Okay, first option. This was the first option. Second option says about the free reserve, 100% of free reserve and security premium, whichever is higher among them. Okay, is it clear? Yes, this part was clear. So if the limit exceeds the loan and investment In that case, what the company is going to do? In that case, special resolution is required, right? What I told you that I'm going to leave this point, right? Member by a special resolution, okay? Approval of member by special resolution when the limit exceeds this criteria, okay? Which criteria? Any of these two, whichever is higher, 60% of paid up equity preference, free reserve, security premium account, okay? Second was 100% of free reserve and security premium account. Is this clear? Whichever is higher among them, okay? In that case, if the limit exceeds, we are going to take the approval of members by special resolution. Is this clear? Yes. With the aggregate of loan, investment, guarantee, security, please pay attention. What is saying that with aggregate of loan, investment, guarantee, security already made together, which says already made together, when the company have already taken this, ठीक है, already taken what? Aggregate of loan, investment, guarantee, security, ठीक है, with the aggregate of loan, investment, guarantee, security proposed to be made, which means whatever is in the financial statement of the company, existing loan, investment, guarantee and security, ठीक है, which is to be included with plus the aggregate amount of loan which is proposed to be made, loan, guarantee and security, ठीक है, and investment of course. Okay, so whatever the loan amount, whatever the guarantee amount, whatever the security amount, whatever the investment amount existing is going to be added with the proposed amount of aggregate of loan, security, guarantee and all, ठीक है. If in this case the amount exceeds these two, sum of these 2 points, ठीक है, if the amount exceeds this limit, in that case the company have to take the special resolution, okay, the special resolution, have to take the approval of members. Okay, let's go for it. Exceeds the limit specified in section 186 subsection 2. Prior approval by means a special resolution shall be necessary made. Is this part clear? Yes. Okay. Now approval of board is required in this case. Approval of board is required in all the irrespective of amount of loan, investment, guarantee, security. Okay. Approval of board shall be obtained by passing resolution in board meeting only. ठीक है, only in board meeting, which means no circulation is to be passed. ठीक है, in board meeting no circulation. They are saying passing a resolution in board meeting, they will be approval of board shall be obtained by passing a resolution in board meeting only. Is this part clear, everybody? Yes, hope this part was also clear. Now approval of public financial institution is to be taken. Is it necessary? What if the limit is not exceeding? In that case also, in every case, the company have to take the approval of public financial institution. So let's go and read out. The company shall obtain the prior approval of public financial institution from which it has taken a term loan. ठीक है, the prior approval is required even in the loan agreement does not specify any such conditions. Is this clear? Yes. Minimum rate of interest. The rate of interest chargeable on loan shall not be less than prevailing yield of 1 year. This is the same as what I have mentioned, 1, 3, 5 and 10. ठीक है, 1, 3, 5, 10. Security, government security closest to the period of loan, which should not be less than these 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. ठीक है. Is this necessary to make the disclosure in financial statement? Yes. The full particular of loan, given investment made or guarantee given or security provided should be disclosed. ठीक है. Yes, this part was clear. The purpose of loan or security proposed to be utilized by recipient should be disclosed in the financial statement. Yes, this part is also clear. What is the punishment for the contravention? This is the same punishment we have read. The company shall be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 25,000. ठीक है, 25,000 and which may extend up to 5 lakh. This is normal point ना, ठीक है. Let's go for the other. Every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with imprisonment for period may extend to 2 years with fine which not be less than 25,000 and again to make up to 1 lakh. I guess this is 5. You have to tell me, is this 5 of 1? Okay. Okay, so let's make a rewind of this section, which says the what is the loan and investment by the company is allowable. Yes, there is some limit. The existing amount of loan, guarantee, security, investment which is to be added with the proposed amount of aggregate of loan, security, guarantee, okay, which should not be exceed the limit. Okay, if the amount is exceeding what, which limit, 60% of aggregate of paid up share capital, free reserve, security premium, or 60% of free reserve or security premium account, whichever is higher among them. Okay. Okay. Loan, guarantee, security, subscription either directly or indirectly can be given to body corporate or any other person. This was super clear. Hope this part was clear to you. Disclosure is to be made, approval of board is to be taken, approval of public financial institution is to be taken. Okay, minimum rate of interest, everything is clear in this section. Let's go for the non-applicability of section 186. Any loan made by guarantee given or any other security provided by any investment made by, of course these are very simple points, so I'm just going to read out. Okay, by banking company, this is not going to apply in banking company, insurance company, housing finance company, a company established in business of financing industrial enterprises, okay, or providing infrastructure facility, but in ordinary course of its business, but only if it is done in the ordinary course of its business. Okay, second, any investment, first was of any loan, guarantee given or security provided by the investment made to these companies, either banking or insurance, housing company established in business of financing industrial enterprise or providing infrastructure facilities in ordinary course of business. Is this part clear? Yes, let's go for the second point, which is the any investment. Again, any investment which is made in share allotted in pursuance of right issue made by company accordance with section 62 subsection 1 and non-banking financial company. Okay, this is one more, body corporate, and second was of non-banking financial company. Okay, okay, so these are the company where section 186 is not going to apply. Okay, let's read out right of loan etc. Section 186 subsection 9 says the provision with respect to register of loan, guarantee, security and investment are contained in 186 subsection 9 of Companies Act 2013. Read with rule 12 of companies are explained here. Every company which make loan, investment, guarantee shall maintain a register. This section is talking about the company have to maintain a register if they have taken loan, given guarantee, security and all. Okay, it contains particular as may be prescribed. I'm just reading on because these are very simple sections. Okay, and shall maintain in such a way as may be prescribed, kept at register office of the company. Okay, shall be open to inspect the register office of the company. The copies of rest may be obtained by the member or payment of very prescribed fees, and I guess that is of rupees 10. Okay, the registrar shall maintain in form MBP2. Entries in register shall made in chronological manner within 7 days of making such loan, giving guarantee or providing securities or any other acquisition happens. The register shall be present permanently, maintained either manually or electronic mode, shall authenticated by the company secretary of the company or by any other person authorized by the board for the purpose. Okay. The register shall maintain with effect with date of its incorporation. The extract from the register may be furnished to the member of company on payment of such fees as prescribed in the article of the company, which shall not exceed rupees 10 per page. Is this clear? Now there are two more sections, which is section 187. Investment of the company is to be held in its own name. Okay, these are very simple sections, so you have to read it by your own. Okay, and disclosure of interest by director under section 184. Okay, they are not that much, they are just very simple sections, so you can easily read. Now this is the main section. Okay, there are actually two sections in this lecture which are really important. First was of section 186, loan and investment by the company, right, and section 188 of related party transaction. Okay, if there is a transaction with related party, then we have to identify what is going to be the provisions. Okay, let's read out now. Who are related party? Let's find out who are the related party in the company. If a director or his relative, yes, this is clear. Okay, a key manager person or his relative, yes. A firm in which director, manager or his relative is a partner. Okay, a private company in which director, manager or his relative is a member of the directors. A public company in which director, manager is director and hold along with his relative more than 2% of its paid up capital. ठीक है. Any body corporate wo board of director, direct managing director or manager is accustomed act in accordance with the advice, director's instruction of director or manager. Any person who is advised, direction or instruction a director or manager is accustomed to act. Anybody corporate which is holding associate company, which is holding associate company of such company, subsidiary of holding company to which it is also subsidiary, an investment company of the company, ठीक है, or such any other person as may be prescribed. I just read the who are going to be in relative parties. Okay, now this is the main thing, applicability of section 188 to whom, to which transaction. Okay, now let's go and read out what is this section saying. Section 188 says about the application of related party transaction. Every contract, please pay attention, okay? Every contract or arrangement between whom? Between the company. The contract, every contract or the arrangement between whom? Between the company and its relative party. We already got to know about who are relative party. These are the relative parties. ठीक है? With respect to shall require the prior approval of member by what? By ordinary resolution. ठीक है? When any of the contract or arrangement is done between what? Between company and between its relative party. Okay, in that case the approval is taken by members, but in ordinary resolution, not in special resolution. Okay, so the company have to take the approval of whom? Members. Okay, in ordinary resolution, by passing an ordinary resolution. Now let's find out what are the transaction where there is approval of member needed. Okay, by means of ordinary resolution. Let's find out. Number first point says the sale, purchase, supply of any goods of material. Again, sale, purchase, supply of any goods and material which is directly or through appointment of agent, either by directly, okay, or through appointment of agent, amounted to 10% or more of turnover of the company, or 100 crore, whichever is lower. ठीक है? If sale, purchase, supply of any goods, material, ठीक है, either directly by the company or through any other agent, which amount to more than 10% of turnover of the company, or 100 crore, whichever is lower, we are going to take that amount. ठीक है? In that case, ठीक है, the company have to take the approval of members, by ordinary resolution. Is this clear? By ordinary resolution. Again I'm saying sale, if the transaction is of sale, purchase, supply of goods and material, ठीक है, either directly or indirectly through agent, and that amount exceeds the amount of sale, purchase, supply of goods and services, goods or material, ठीक है? In that case, if the amount exceeds more than 10% of the turnover of the company, or 100 crore, whichever is lower. If the amount exceeds if the amount exceeds among these two criteria, okay, then only the approval of member is required by passing ordinary resolution. This was the first condition. Okay, let's go for second. Earlier we were talking about sale, purchase. Okay, now let's go for selling or otherwise disposing of, buying property of any kind. Selling or otherwise way of disposing of, buying property of any kind, again directly through or through appointment of any agent, amounted to 10% or more of net worth. Earlier we were talking about the turnover in case of sale purchase, ठीक है. Now we are talking about the selling, ठीक है. We are talking about selling or disposal, buying of any property or any kind. In that case 10% of what net worth is going to be taken, or 100%, 100 crore, 100 crore, 10% of net worth, ठीक है, or 100 crore, whichever is lower, whichever is lower, whichever is lower, ठीक है. If the amount exceeds this, okay, in that case approval of member is required by ordinary resolution. Members approval is required. Is this clear? Yes, this is clear. Okay, let's go for the third point. First was saying about the sale, purchase, ठीक है, of goods, material. Second was saying of the selling, disposing, buying of any property or kind, ठीक है. Remember the criteria, whichever was lower, ठीक है, whichever was lower, first case was of, first criteria was of 10% of the turnover, ठीक है, or 100 crore. Second was of 10% of the net worth, or 100 crore, whichever is lower, ठीक है. Let's go for the third, leasing of property of any kind. Now it's come to the leasing point. Leasing of any property or any kind, ठीक है, amounted to, ठीक है, amounted to whichever lower, but there are three criteria in this case. That is 10% or more of turnover of the company. Remember? Yes. 10% or more of net worth of the company. Yes. Or 100 crore, whichever is lower, whichever is lower, whichever is lower. If the company taken lease of property of any kind, ठीक है, and the amount of that property exceeds this amount, whichever is lower among them, ठीक है. Let's take out that this was 50, this was 20, ठीक है. Whichever is lower, we are going to take the 20 crore. This is in crore, ठीक है. So if the leasing of property of any kind exceeds 20 crore, in that case the company have to take the approval of whom? The member, by passing ordinary resolution. Is this clear? We have to take the approval of members by taking ordinary resolution. Hope this part was clear to you. First, sale, purchase of goods or material, ठीक है. Second, of selling or disposing, ठीक है, selling or disposing by any way, buying and all property of any kind. Third was of leasing. In case of leasing there are three criteria: 10% of the turnover, 10% or more of the net worth, or 100 crore, whichever is more, whichever is lower, ठीक है. Let's go for the fourth, which says availing or rendering of service. Availing of rendering of service, ठीक है. These all are transaction, remember, ठीक है. Availing or rendering of service either directly or through appointment of agent, ठीक है. Appointment, availing of rendering of service, ठीक है. We already talk about the sale, purchase of goods, material, and of the properties and kind and all. Now we are talking about the services. Availing of rendering of service either through directly through the company or through appointing any agent. In that case the criteria is a bit different. In this case, let's find out what. Amounting to 10% or more of the turnover. This is same, ठीक है. But or rupees 50 crore, whichever is lower. Turnover, which was same, 10% or more of the turnover, ठीक है, or 50 crore, whichever is lower we are going to take, ठीक है. In that case, if the amount exceeds, ठीक है, then we have to go for, the company have to go for approval of member is required by passing ordinary resolution, ठीक है. Let's go for the fifth point. Now there are something common in these 4 points. What is that? They are saying directly or through appointment of agent, right? This first point was also saying about the directly or through appointment of agent in case of sale, purchase, supply of goods or material, ठीक है. Second was of selling or otherwise disposing of buying property of any kind, directly or through appointment of agent. Third was of leasing of property of any kind, ठीक है. Which amount? This is also the case. There is not written. What is not written? Directly or through any appointment of any agent is not mentioned in this case, ठीक है. But in fourth case again there was availing or rendering of services through directly or through appointing of agent. Now let's go and find out what is written in fifth point. Appointment of agent agent in case of what? For sale or purchase. In case of goods, material, services or property. Let's go and find out what is written in case of goods, in case of sale, purchase of goods, material. Is this part clear? Yes. So we are going to take which condition? This condition. So fifth point says about the appointment of any agent. Appointment of any agent. They are talking about which point? Let's rewind these points. First point was saying of sale, purchase, supply of any goods of material directly or through appointment of agent. Remember? So for this point we are saying that in point 5, appointment of any agent for sale or purchase of goods, material, services or property. Appointment of agent is for supply, for sale or purchase, for goods, for material, for services, for property. Okay, let's read out now what would be the criteria for this. Okay, same criteria for first, which says sale, purchase, supply of goods, for goods and material. So let's say goods and material. Just a second, guys. Which says about the goods and material, right? Goods and material. Let me highlight this point. Goods and material. Okay, so let's see whether goods and material are mentioned in point 5 or no. Yes, goods and material. Okay, appointment of agent is for purchase or sale for goods and material is done. Okay, so what would be the criteria for this case? 10% of turnover or 100 crore, whichever is lower. Okay, whichever is lower. Okay, second condition says about, again, which says about the directly or through appointment of agent. We are only taking that point which covers the appointment of agent, which says about point first, okay, second and fourth, not third. Okay, let's see. Second point was saying of selling and or otherwise disposing of buying property. Let's see whether we are having this in our conditions. Yes, property is mentioned. Okay, so what would be the criteria? 10% or more of the net worth or 100 crore, whichever is lower. Remember? Okay, what about the third point? Is there anything mentioned about the agent? No. Leasing of property of any kind is not mentioned about. They have not mentioned about. This is done through appointing of agent. Is this clear? So we are not going to take this point. Okay, so this criteria would not apply in case of point 5th. Okay, so what about fourth point? Fourth point is about the availing or rendering of any service. About the service. Okay, about the service directly or through appointment of agent. Yes, we are going to take this point. In case of services, what were the criteria? Criteria were of, yes, 10% of what? 10% of turnover or 50 crore, whichever is lower. Okay, let's see. Yes, services are also mentioned. So they would be 4 criteria. Okay, criteria for purchase and sale of goods. Okay, services, material, 3 criteria. Okay, goods, service, material and property. And what points criteria we are going to take? First, second and fourth, not the third one. Is it clear? Hope this part was clear. Let's go for the 6th point, which says such related party appointment. Such related party appointment is done for what? For any office. For any office or any place of profit okay, in the company for its subsidiary company or associate company. Let me say it again. If appointment of related party is done by the company, okay, for its subsidiary company or for its associate associate company, in that case, for what purpose? For any office purpose. For any office purpose or any place of profit. Okay? In that case, if the remuneration of such related party exceeds more than 2.5 lakh, which is 2,50,000, if that amount exceeds, if the remuneration of such related party exceeds this criteria, 2.5 lakh, 250, okay, rupees 2,50,000, in that case, approval of member would be taken by passing ordinary resolution. Approval of members is going to be taken by passing ordinary resolution. Is this clear? Hope this part was clear. Now the last point says about the underwriting the subscription of any security or derivatives. Underwriting of subscription of any security or derivatives. But here the condition is bit different. 1% of net worth would be taken. Okay? If the amount exceeds 1% of the net worth, in that case approval of whom is going to be required? Members, right? And by passing ordinary resolution. Is this part clear? So let's rewind it again, everybody. First point says the applicability of section 188. Okay? Every contract or arrangement between whom? Between the company and second the related party. Now we know the meaning of related party. They are the people who are going to fall in the meaning of related parties, okay, or the parties which are going to comes in related party. Okay, so if there is any contract or arrangement between whom? Between the company or related party, in that case shall require prior approval of member by ordinary resolution if any of the amount exceeds these conditions. Okay, first was of sale purchase of goods and material, criteria was of 10% of turnover or 100 crore, whichever is lower. Okay, second was of selling or disposal by way of any disposal of property of any kind. The criteria was 10% of net worth or 100 crore, whichever is lower. Okay? Third was of leasing of property. One more thing, there were also one more point of either the company is doing by itself or by appointing any agent. But in case of third, we are not going to take the help of agent. Okay, in case of leasing of property of any kind, the criteria were of 10% of turnover, 10% of net worth or 100 crore, whichever is lower. Okay, this part was clear. Next, fourth, availing of rendering of services by appointing or either by directly or by appointing agent. Okay, amounted to 10% of 10% of the turnover, more of the turnover, or rendering of services के केस में कितना परसेंट? 50 crore person was saying 10% was of turnover was taken, but the amount of 100 crore is not taken. In case of services we are going to take 50 crore. ठीक है. Now appointment of any agent, this would be same as 1, 2 and 4th condition. ठीक है, conditions would be same. Okay, 6th was of about any related party is appointed by the company for its subsidiary or associate company. In that case, for what purpose? For office, for any office or in place of profit, and such related party remuneration exceed more than 2,50,000, then in that case special ordinary resolution is required. Okay, approval of member is required. Okay, last point says about the underwriting the subscription of any securities or debenture of the company which exceed 1% of what? Net worth. Okay, in that case if the amount exceeds this criteria, then the approval of member is required. Okay, by passing ordinary resolution. Now let's read out, is there any consent of board required? Yes, the consent of board would be required. And is there that any circulation or circulation would be enough for this passing board resolution, or what is other criteria? Let's read out. Okay, consent of board by passing only resolution at board meeting, not circulation. ठीक है. Disclosure required in the agenda of board meeting are name of related party and nature of the relationship, nature, duration of the contract or arrangement, particular of the contract of arrangement, terms of contract and arrangement, any advance if paid or received for the contract of arrangement, manner of determining the pricing, another commercial terms, whether all the factors relevant to the contract having been considered or not, any other information relevant or important for the board to taken on the proposed transaction. Okay? Now, one more thing, interested director are not going to be present at board meeting for discussion of what contract and arrangement. Okay? And I already told you what is the definition of interested people. Okay? And interested director. Okay? So, interested director are not going to be present in the board meeting during discussion on such contract or arrangement. Okay. Now, what are the disclosure which is required in explanatory statement? The explanatory statement annexed to the notice of general meeting in which ordinary resolution passed shall contain the following disclosure: name of the related party, name of the director, key managerial person who is related, name, nature of such relationship, name, nature, material, material term, monetary value, and any of the contract of arrangement, ठीक है, any other information if it is required. And every contract arrangement to be section 188 applies shall refer to its board report to shareholder along with the entering of such contract or arrangement. Now we are going to discuss about the non applicability, ठीक है. Non applicability is going to be for which company? The company who enters transaction in normal ordinary course of business, ठीक है. We are not going to count them, which means the company who is doing transaction for ordinary, the transaction is for ordinary course of business, ठीक है. In that case this part will not be applied, section 188 will not be applied. And second, any other than the transaction which are not on the arm length basis, arm length, the transaction which are not done on arm length basis, we are not going to take this, ठीक है. So section 188 would not be applied. So this was the last section of this lecture, and this is the end of meeting of board and its power. Hope you like the video, hope you understand a bit. If you understand, hit a like button, subscribe my channel, ठीक है, and comment below, ठीक है. One more thing, that tomorrow onwards we are going to start the new chapter, appointment and remuneration of managerial person, ठीक है. Till then guys, keep the revision, do the writing practice.